Boom. Sorry, couldn't resist doing that one. Today, the Red, White, and Boom pre-workout is available. The new branding and everything. And today we're going to be talking about the changes and what to expect. So obviously, Merica Labz came out in 2016. The political climate was very different back then. And as Merica Labz, they played up a lot of those things with the cartoons, the really fun copy and stuff like that. Now they're kind of doing a resto mod, a restoration of this brand from 5 years ago, where they're bringing it into the, today's climate of branding, products, formulas, all sorts of different stuff they're doing that it's really fun, but also probably, necessary. We're in a different type of industry now. There's a lot more challenges with supply chain, new formulas in terms of, new cutting edge ingredients they could be using. And today we're going to be talking about their flagship pre-workout, Red, White, and Boom. Now this pre-workout is aimed for some very specific things, which we're going to talk about to kind of frame where the formula is coming from. And we're also going to talk about what this formula is not in terms of the rest of the line. There's also, napalm, A-bomb that are much more hardcore options, whereas this is not going to be that. So we got a bunch to talk about today. I'm really excited to talk about this pre-workout. Hopefully you guys stick around for the discussion, for the formulas, for the ingredients, and what to expect from this one, because I'm excited about this. Kenton, Doug, Patrick, Sam, Dave, the whole team over there, they're doing an awesome job with a whole bunch of different stuff across all the different brands. And I think this is one to definitely pay attention to. So without further ado, let's talk about Red, White, and Boom. Now, Red, White, and Boom, like I said, is not going to be a hardcore option like A-bomb or napalm. Napalm being their fat-burning pre-workout. A-bomb being a pre-workout that jumps into, honestly, hardcore areas. It's going to be for those stim junkies who really want a lot. But here with Red, White, and Boom, this is a flagship pre-workout that is designed for mainstream culture. I hesitate to say that for, the amount of caffeine here. However, what they're doing here is they're creating a pre-workout that is friendly for lots of different compliance markets in terms of big box, overseas, places that actually check regulatory before bringing products in, and to give that flagship experience where a large margin of consumers can enjoy this one and not feel like there's too much stim, too much pump, whatever. It's a flagship product that can be applied to a lot of different consumers across a large group of the industry. A lot of people have, what they want in terms of specific stimulant amounts or what they want out of a pump or whatever that. This is a really well-rounded pre that grabs a lot of different consumers and doesn't go overboard in too many areas to the point where it couldn't get into a specialized retailer that, cares about regulatory, especially not big box retailers. How do they do that? Well, I'm not going to be specifically calling back to the old formula. I'm going to be talking about the new formula as a new one, but I will be talking about what this formula represents. So I'm not going to be like comparing numbers and ingredients. I don't think that's too necessary, especially with the amount of people that are going to be searching for this video. But we're going to talk about what this formula brings to the table and what to expect. Let's jump right in and talk from the top. We got 6 grams of citrulline. 6 grams of citrulline is, I would really say, like that sweet spot right in the middle where people aren't complaining about not having enough. People are also not complaining about there being too much. We've seen brands use as low as 3 grams, as many as 15 grams, and we get complaints on both sides, but 6 grams, I really would say, is right that middle center ground where a lot of people are happy with it. Citrulline is the start to many pre-workouts. It's a great pump ingredient. It's really tried and true. It's not citrulline malate. It's not, mixed with any kind of malic acid or anything. It's just pure citrulline, 6 grams. It starts off the pump really well, but it also has an arginase inhibitor effect to it, which we're really excited to see that they're going simple on a lot of these different areas. I don't want to say that any part of this is simple as in a bad way, but they're not using all of these, but they're not spending a lot of time on newfangled ingredients with, questionable GRAS status or whether or not they're going to be able to get into big stores and stuff like that. Pre-workout is going to deliver on incredible results without any risks for the company in terms of distribution. So creatine monohydrate after that, 5 grams. This really, again, plays to the fact that this is an absolute mainstream, well-rounded pre-workout that almost everyone can appreciate. Not only do you have stimulants and pumps, but you also have some ergogenic performance boosters like creatine monohydrate here. 5 grams of creatine monohydrate is accepted as the dose for everyone to be taking. If you wanted to get really nitty gritty, there is a specific dose per kilogram of body weight. However, 5 grams is generally the accepted dose for everyone to be using. Creatine is amazing for any sort of athlete, except for maybe long distance endurance runners or swimmers and stuff like that. But if you're any sort of weight trainer, creatine monohydrate is an absolute necessary ingredient that you have to be using. We've done a lot of content on it. I'm not going to go super deep here, but expect extra reps, sets, and weight over time. You're increasing intramuscular ATP stores, and that ATP is obviously the source of energy for all cells in the body. It's going to help out with weight training. Just take it, don't worry about it, and reap the benefits. Now, after that, we have 3,200 milligrams of beta alanine. Again, generally accepted. Clinical dosage, 3,200 milligrams. It's been studied a lot lower, a lot higher. 3,200 milligrams is the generally accepted dosage here. It is what we would consider the clinical dosage for beta-alanine. Beta-alanine, again, like creatine monohydrate. If you are a lifter or a trainer, it's a necessary ergogenic performance aid. You have to be using this kind of stuff to be getting ahead of the game. Again, expect more endurance if you are training in longer sets, especially like with intensity boosters like drop sets, supersets, stuff like that. Expect some endurance to be added on to the end of your sets. Stuff is absolutely necessary for any type of trainer. Following that, we're going to get into more of these mood and feeling boosters. Tyrosine at a full gram. Tyrosine is awesome. I like it. I mean, we see benefits at 500 milligrams, but that gram plus is really where I think the fun starts. For a 1 scoop like this, a 20-gram scoop, where we're looking at simple products that are going to deliver on benefits, 1 gram of tyrosine, I absolutely love here. I think it's a great dosage. I've been known to use a lot higher dosages for, wild feelings and stuff like that, but 1 gram I think is great for the mainstream, for the general user. This product's going to be useful for getting onto the shelves of those big box retailers, big chains as well. And 1 gram is going to be, great for all sorts of individuals. Tyrosine is an amino acid that helps form neurotransmitters like norepinephrine, dopamine, epinephrine. It helps out a lot with the mood and focus feeling of working out. I think that it has a really great feel-good effect, especially alongside a lot of these other stimulants in here. Moving forward, we got KSM-66. This is the first trademarked ingredient in here. KSM-66 is probably the most popular ashwagandha standardization on the market. Maybe like a year and a half ago, we saw almost like every new product in the market using KSM-66. It was a wild time. Everyone was using it for everything. KSM has a lot of different benefits, most of them stemming from reducing cortisol. Now, there's a lot of things you could talk about here. You could talk about reducing cortisol being better for fat loss. You also talk about it for boosting testosterone. It even has some immunomodulatory and neuroprotective benefits, but really what I would talk about with this is increases of strength and size when being used around weight training. Now, this is likely due to it helping you adapt to the physical demands of training, as well as dealing with stress around workouts better. In my opinion, people, when they talk about recovery, they talk about diet, sleep, and I think that they should really talk about stress management, and KSM-66 is a huge ingredient for that. For that reason, KSM-66, I think that everyone should be using some sort of ashwagandha in their diet. It's super helpful, and I think that it's an awesome benefit being put in here. Not to talk about it too much, it is at the 600 milligram dosage, which is the dosage that we look for KSM-66. If you want to learn more about it, check our YouTube, any of our blogs. We talk a lot about KSMs, but I don't want to get too much into it in this pre-workout video. Caffeine anhydrous, obvious one here. Caffeine source that most of us are used to, 350 milligrams. This is where I hesitate to talk about mainstream with this. 350 milligrams, while I love caffeine, some people will shy away from the dosage. I think it's an awesome caffeine dosage here. I've used this product quite a few times already, and I've actually been adding some caffeine to it on some days when I want even more. This pre-workout, I think, is an amazing, well-rounded product that a lot of people can use as a base and add things if they're looking to. 350 milligrams is going to be safe for almost all individuals. There's safety data on caffeine all the way up to 12 milligrams per kilogram. Do not worry about it. Absolutely try it out and give it a whirl. I think that most people would like higher caffeine dosages if they tried them out. If you follow that, you get to alpha GPC. At 300 milligrams, we're really stoked about this dosage. Alpha GPC is a choline source, but it also has some other benefits like power output. Alpha GPC has been seen in a lot of different nootropics, pre-workouts, gaming supplements, but in this one, we're really looking for that choline to be paired up with huperzine A later on, helping create acetylcholine, which is the learning neurotransmitter, but it also helps out with a lot of things from that learning to also memory and muscle contractions. Acetylcholine is super important for training and for people who want to get out of the workout and then go to work or something like that. I think that a choline source is super smart pre-workout. It'll help you, in my opinion, carry about the rest of your day, even though you're hitting your CNS with your training, whether you're looking for it for that focus or the work during the workout, or to keep you going mentally for the rest of the day. I think it's an awesome addition to this pre-workout. After that, we hit another trademarked ingredient here, Vasodrive AP. Now, at 254 milligrams, there's always a lot of questions about the dosages for these. Vasodrive AP is the name for the sports performance purpose of this ingredient, whereas if you're using it for health, it would be amyl peptide. Vasodrive AP helps out with ACE inhibition. Now, ACE, which is the angiotensin converting enzyme, is kind of what stands in the way of most pump products. It doesn't limit the production of nitric oxide, but it keeps nitric oxide production from reaching its total value or its, full potential, really. There's always a lot of questions about what the dosage should be. We've seen as low as like 128 all the way up to 508. I don't always think that the 508 is the best idea because you are lowering blood pressure here and there are other ingredients that are lowering it as well. Using the 254 here, I think was a good job by Merica. I think that it doesn't need to always be an absolute max dosage. This is probably a safe move with also bringing you tons of benefits in terms of carrying the pump and helping the pump be as best as possible. We're starting to see Vasodrive AP in more and more products. I'm super excited to see it in this product. One thing to note is that Vasodrive AP does come from a dairy source, so if you are intolerant to dairy, that is one thing to note. And from there, we get into a bunch more of these stimulants down here. Theobromine 100 milligrams pairs up really well with caffeine anhydrous. We love that theobromine caffeine combination. Theobromine is chemically similar to caffeine. It works in similar ways. And in one study, it helped, and this is subjective, of course, but helped potentiate or increase the feeling of stimulant from caffeine. Users found that when they were using it alongside caffeine, the feeling of that caffeine was intensified. Obviously, everyone loves stimulants. We all love the feeling from caffeine. We've already got a bunch in here. Why not make it feel a little bit better? Lastly, in terms of stimulants, we have Zoom XR caffeine. Now, Zoom XR does a sustained release and a delayed release. This XR is the extended release, same as sustained, kind of same thing. It's not, sometimes when you see the delayed release, it's basically like an afterburner hitting later. This is not that. It's going to be slowly extended release along the workout. I don't remember the exact time for the whole delivery of the rest of the caffeine, but you're getting 30% caffeine of this 100 milligram dosage. So you're getting 350 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous. You're getting 70 milligrams of XR caffeine, which is going to slowly trickle in to make sure that you don't have a crash afterwards, which we all hate that crash post-workout. Lastly, we have the Huperzine A in here, which helps lower acetylcholine esterase. Like I was talking about, this pairs up really well with the alpha GPC because you're creating acetylcholine, which is the learning neurotransmitter. Acetylcholine esterase is what breaks that down in your body, making sure that it's broken down in any excess amount. So this will make sure that the acetylcholine that you're forming stays around longer and is more useful for you. What does all of this mean? You're going to get a great pump. You got your citrulline here. You got your Vasodrive AP. It's not a lot. You don't have like tons and tons of all these different ingredients like a lot of kitchen sink formulas do. I promise this is enough to drive blood flow during your workout. Outside of that, you have creatine monohydrate, as well as beta-alanine, KSM 66 for performance. So you're going to have extending your sets, extending your amounts of weights that you can use regularly. That creatine really has a huge benefit on strength. And KSM 66 has a wonderful benefit in both size and strength, offering a really nice trifecta in terms of performance boosting. Between the tyrosine, the caffeine, the choline, the theobromine, the Zoom XR, and the Huperzine A, you're going to have a hell of a stimulant here. I'm not saying that's going to be the A-bomb. A-bomb has been seen as, the really crazy pre-workout from Merica, and that's all great. If you want to go into that hardcore form there, you can. What I'm saying is that for a compliant, legal, safe for big box perspective, this is an awesome combination of ingredients here that does not really rock the boat in terms of regulatory departments. So you don't have to worry about GRAS status. You don't have to worry about being able to get into big boxes, but you are going to get an awesome stimulant effect for your pre-workout. Overall, Red, White, and Boom delivers on a great workout. I've used it for a couple different workouts now. Sometimes I add a little bit of caffeine because I'm crazy and I like more caffeine, and you absolutely can do that if you want to grab more caffeine caps. But it's on its own. You get 420 milligrams of caffeine, which is awesome. 350 milligrams of that obviously is anhydrous. 70 milligrams is that Zoom XR, which you get trickled down later. And then, of course, the other stimulants and focus benefits in there as well. We do have to say, we got these for free from Merica. We do have a business affiliate relationship, obviously all of that. However, I definitely recommend you try it out. If you do want to grab one, they're available today. They just launched. You can use coupon code PricePlow at checkout to save a decent amount of money. They were launched today. The Daytona Beach flavor is my favorite, but the Back in Black lemonade is pretty good as well. Really can't go wrong with Merica flavors most of the time. As always, guys, I really want to make sure I say thank you so much for watching and making it this far in the video. This is a little bit longer than I want it to be. It's a great product, and I really want everyone to understand what each ingredient's doing and what you can expect out of the whole thing. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I do check the comments. I love talking about Red, White, and Boom, Merica Labz, Merica Energy, Doug, Kenton, Patrick, any of the guys over there. I love talking about the brand, the products, whatever. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.
Welcome to PricePlow.